Well, hello there, Jason Fladlin on behalf of Wilson Matos and everybody that makes up this wonderful company, Rapid Crush Inc. I welcome you to this ASM3 Kickstart call. It is, according to my watch, what's the date today? Today is the 3rd of May. And so if you're hearing this live, then of course this is the 3rd of May, and we're within the first week of ASM officially relaunching. Week number 2 is coming next week. And ASM did their own Kickstart call, so I figured, you know what, I'm going to give my people my flavor of a Kickstart call. And so here we are. Before we get into the meat and the potatoes, this is the most important place for you to be. Well, it boggles my mind, but every single time we offer like a Facebook group or something as a part of a bonus or as a part of a product, we never get 100% of compliance, meaning that not 100% of people who buy take advantage of this bonus. So if you have not yet, stay tuned, because I'll explain to you where you need to go and what you need to do to get into this Facebook group. Now, this is a secret group, so it's very cumbersome to add people, but we will do it come hell or high water. We will get there. We'll get you in there. And then once you're in there, on the left-hand side under groups somewhere, you will see something that says AM Masters probably. If not, you'll actually have to click on the word groups, and then it'll show you all the groups on which you're a part of. But that's typically how you can access it. It does have its own URL, and you can go directly there once you've been approved and added to the group. But this is the most important place for you to be, because this is where the day-to-day stuff happens, and this is where I'm interacting a lot. Now, you might say, well, there's a lot going on there. Is there like the best of the Facebook group? And there is. It's at asmmasters.tumblr.com. We have not updated it because we've been so busy on other things, but we're going to go back and I'm going to assign somebody specifically to go through from my team, pick out all the best posts within the last few weeks, and then we're going to put them in here. And so really, really good stuff we curate from the Facebook group and we post in this ASM Masters Tumblr blog, which will then link directly specifically to that post. So you can always go back. And if you haven't visited this yet, it's fun just to go back and cram through all the old posts that have been in there, because this group has been going since the March 2013, right? So there's a lot of gold to be mined in there already. The most organized place to access anything and everything that we add as bonuses or as additional training to ASM is in the members area at asmmasters.rapidcrush.com/members. And so you'll notice, of course, right away, join the private Facebook group is right there at the top. ASM Masters Tumblr blog is second. So within the members area, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can easily get and download or watch. And in addition to that, there's new things that we'll be adding to there constantly. Okay. Now, I'm going to give you some tips on how to both manage the Facebook group as well as manage the members area. I'm going to start from ground zero, so if you're already a Facebook cowboy, this won't be so enlightening to you, but it's good to review anyway. And if you're just brand new to Facebook or you're not sure how it works, this will be very nice for you. What you're looking at in the middle there is called the news feed. Now, the news feed is when you go to facebook.com and you're logged in, you'll see at the top it says update status, and then below that you'll see Brendan Dew had posted an ASM Masters, and it actually was posted 11 hours ago. Now, why does that show up at the top of my news feed? I have no idea why. Okay. It could be a variety of reasons. It could be because Facebook thinks this is important because I spend a lot of time in ASM Masters, so it's showing me a post from ASM Masters. It could be because I liked this post potentially in the past, which I actually didn't, or that I previously sent a message to Brendan Dew on Facebook, or he sent me one and I responded to it, right? There's a million reasons why something's going to show up in your main news feed right there in the middle. And so the thing to notice about that is only stuff in ASM Masters that will show up in your newsfeed can be seen by you. Nobody else sees this newsfeed besides you. So don't worry if friends and family members are are connected with you on Facebook. They will never see anybody that posts in the ASM Masters group, and they will never see any posts that you make in the ASM Masters group. Unless, of course, they're also customers too, right? The only way you'd ever see anything is being in the ASM Masters group. Now, and you see below that is a suggested post, and somebody's advertising FB Ads Crack 2.0. So your newsfeed is like an amalgamation of all the different stuff that Facebook thinks you'll find interesting based on your interactions, preferences, and a million other things. And this is what they put right in the middle when you go to facebook.com and you're logged in, right? And then, of course, on the left-hand side, you can access the group as we discussed earlier. So it's good to know because some people think that when they share stuff on ASM Masters that other people can see it, and that is never the case. Only ASM Masters can see and respond. Now, by the way, if you want to share something with ASM Masters, you can't share it directly in your news feed by clicking on that update status and typing it in. You literally have to click on and make sure you're in the ASM Masters group, which you will notice because it has this big giant header at the top that says ASM or Amazing Selling Machine Masters. Now, Facebook groups are interesting because there's a couple things that you can do with them. One is that you can add files to them. And so you'll see at the top there in the private ASM Masters group a tab called Files. And there's a ton of files there. And I would recommend that you go through every single one of them at least once just to get familiar with what's available to you. And then after that, go back through them as you need to, as they're contextually and specifically relevant to where you're at in your ASM business. But that file section is a goldmine. Okay. There is also the search functionality. So you would click on that little spotlight right below the banner there, and you can attempt to search. Facebook search on its own is not very good. The best thing to start doing is when you're posting stuff, post hashtags that you can then search later. And then it will be able to find much better the hashtag. So if you put like hashtag product selection, then when you do a search, it's going to more easily find hashtag, or it's going to find product selection as a keyword because you hashtagged it, right? Well, you can search the group there. It's not that good, but it's better than nothing. Notifications, they're kind of in the same area as the search is. You can click on that. You can be notified every time there's a post ever in Facebook, and it will notify you by sending an email to the email you use to log into Facebook. You can have notifications just for friends who post in ASM Masters, or you could turn notifications off completely. What that'll mean is they'll still notify you of stuff in ASM if specifically your name is mentioned, or if you respond to something, or if you start a post and somebody responds to something, right? They'll still send you notifications for that because that's just normal notifications that Facebook sends out. But they won't send out every single freaking thing that friends post or all post in notifications, so you can toggle and change that. When I post a video in the Facebook group specifically, usually the quality is horrible. That's Facebook's default video player is not very good. I recommend if your bandwidth can handle it, and I think it probably can for most people, you click on that little HD button, and then it'll give you the video as it's intended. And oftentimes you can then also go full screen with the video and still catch every single detail. If you like a post and you really, really, really want to find it for later, you can bookmark it. It's not very obvious, but you click on the timestamp to find what they call the permalink. So whether it's a comment for that post or it's the post itself. See where I have that first arrow that says 33 minutes? Or in Philip's case, there's one that says 9 hours. If you right-click on any of those links and select copy link address or open link in a new tab or in a new window, then you can bookmark it. Or you can save that address so that way you can access that post directly later. And that's how we, by the way, curate and put stuff in the Tumblr blog, is through those permalinks. Now we've discussed the Facebook ASM Masters group and how to get the most out of that. Let's discuss how to get the most out of the members area. A lot of people take this for granted, but up at the top we have a menu. And that menu has the home button, which right now doesn't really serve much of a purpose because it just says bonus access. And the bonus access menu is just going to dump you in here where you're seeing right now your bonuses. You can directly click on the bestseller matrix right there at the top and go straight to the bestseller matrix page, which will give you information on how to access it and get on there. You can edit your profile, which I don't know if there's any point to that really, but there is the help desk. So if you want to get support directly from the members area, click the help desk, right? If you don't know how to join the Facebook group, you can obviously follow the instructions right here. It's right at the top in the members area. Bookmarking the Tumblr blog, it's right there, so you can do that. There's a whole bunch of guides. It's the third thing down. So if you say click here to access the training guides and follow along documents, these are basically the same PDFs and docs, Word docs, that are in the Facebook ASM Masters group. But here it's probably easier to find them and follow along with them, and easier to check back when new stuff is added. There's also a section for videos, and this is specifically just for videos. And the 3 videos I've already created since you've joined ASM3 is the Plan for Success video, the Product Selection Criteria video, and the Bestseller Matrix tutorial video. Whenever I create new videos, I first post them in the Facebook group, and then very soon after we get them posted in the members area as well. I have went through every single section, every single module of ASM and made notes of them. As the modules are released, the module notes will also be released. I believe we have these drip fed. So I think as soon as the module 2 goes live, it should reveal itself or become public here for you or in this members area for the notes for module 1, 2, 3, 4. I basically cliff notes the whole module that ASM provides you and give you additional insights from what I personally have observed and went through as well. So that's where the notes are at. They're in the members area as well under the bonus access page. Other bonuses and other ways to redeem bonuses. We've done 2 previous full day live events, and there's a lot of information in there that you can watch. If you want to book your 20-minute one-on-one consultation with me, it's not available right now. This is for the product description and product listing optimization. After week 4, I think week 5 it will become available. You get the details when you click there. The 3 coaching sessions, which we just released the first batch of today for product selection. These are the one-on-ones with originally Morgan and Mattson, but now we've expanded it to 5 coaches. So Morgan, Mattson, myself, Dr. Ben, and Ben Cummings. And we've put some of those on there. Some of those slots have already filled up. I'm adding more slots here tonight, later tonight when one of the coaches comes back home. I'm going to connect with him and get more spots on the schedule, right? Details for the live event, which takes place our one-day pre-event before the ASM event. July 10th is when we're doing ours. We haven't got the details quite yet from Las Vegas, the planning committee, but we're going to get them very soon, and we'll put them in there when we have them. When the ASM Ranker software becomes available, you can access it here in the members area. Until then, it will tell you the date at which it does become available. Same thing with the Chinese concierge and everything else, right? So that's the whole shebang as far as what's going on the Facebook group and in the members area. And if Matt said the event was at the end of May in Austin, Tim, I think you're listening to a different time, because I can tell you the event is definitely in the time frame that I mentioned this year. Okay. The 3 coaching sessions tab in the members area has not been updated yet because I just posted it first in the Facebook group. So there is that. So keep in mind, I post stuff first in the Facebook group before I post it anywhere else. I post it there, and then my team takes it and puts it in the appropriate areas. That's why I recommend you always have the Facebook group and go there first before anything. Everything else gets kind of pushed behind it as far as when we're going to put stuff in there. Okay. And again, if you don't know the URL for the members area, it's asmmasters.rapidcrush.com/members. Okay. And of course, you'll see this recording, so that way you can get that and know that, right? Perfect. Okay. Okay. Denise says no, not okay, still confused. Well, Denise, what are you confused about? So we can get rid of that confusion. I have now pasted, double check this, and let's see if this works. Okay. Yes, it does. asmmasters.rapidcrush.com/members. I didn't put any typos there or anything. If you don't know your password, then just write into support. Everybody should have got an email, so make sure you're checking your emails. And if anything comes from either an ASM Masters or from Jason Fladlin or a Wilson Matos or a Jason and Will, open that. And make sure it doesn't land in your spam or anything like that, okay? And what's a Tumblr? It's just a blog. It's just a different type of blog. It's really easy to follow along with. Okay. Yeah, and I will post something. The spots for the coaching program have already been taken up. Right now, I will post more later. And I believe Wilson was going to put it in the members area already, but I don't think that he has. Okay. He said he was. Let me get the coaching URL for that real fast, and I'll give it to you. There's no spots currently available, but for when there are spots, again, you can keep checking back. And I'll make announcements. And again, the first announcements always get made in the Facebook group. Okay, so I just put in this for the coaching, where you can go for that. So this is where you go to book your coaching things. And I'll talk more about that later too. Okay, so Denise is confused about the technical stuff. There really isn't that much technical stuff, Denise. As far as you can ignore everything that I just said as long as you can log into Facebook and follow along in the ASM Masters blog. That's the only thing that you really need to know. Everything else is not a technical issue whatsoever. You do not need a password to get to the Tumblr blog because the Tumblr blog is just links back to the Facebook group. So it's only valid for Facebook members, right? I just put in a link there. It's asmmasters.rapidcrush.com/schedule coaching to schedule coaching. Okay. And these are the 3 coaching sessions, which is bonus number 2. The product selection, the keyword optimization, and 10K and beyond, right? Yep. And I'm not going to go crazy in depth on this right now. We'll come back to it later, okay? Because I got a lot to cover. And by the way, there's all the coaching spots. I think there's 25 coaching spots that I put up. Yeah, I know there's nothing on the screen right now because I'm waiting to move on. So there's a million questions I could answer just about the 3 coaching sessions. I'm not going to answer them right now. If you're super, super interested in that, I will talk about those at the end, okay? If you can't log into the members area, let me show you what to do real quick. Here's what you do. Okay, so I am going to put on the screen now the members area. You should see it right here. Okay. Username and password. If you lost your password, click this button down here. Okay. And then it will let you know. Okay, I'm going to see if, as far as the username goes, I think it is the email that you signed up with. But I can't say for 100% certain, so let me double check that real quick. Yes. So the email which you purchased your product from is your username. The password is the one that was emailed to you. If you lost your password, just click here and reset it. If you still have trouble, contact support. Okay? Perfect. Excellent. Okay, if you came for the coaching sessions and information related to that, wait till the end because I just announced that before I popped on here. So I don't want this whole thing to be questions related just to that at the beginning. Because people want to cover other stuff too, so we can easily put all those at the end, okay? So I'm going to move on. Now onto the exactly what should I be doing phase. Remember when I sold ASM to you, you might have saw this screen or this slide, discover the right product, locate the right private label, or optimize your product listing and get ranked on Amazon. That is all you ever need to focus on. Okay, I urge you to memorize this or print it out or do something. Okay? Memorize this because you should never be lost in your Amazon business. It's literally one of these 4 things. Anybody on this call, I can tell you, you need to be doing one of these 4 things. Either you've discovered the product, you've located the right private label provider, you've optimized your product listed, or you're getting it rank on Amazon. That's it. Okay? So if you're ever confused, you say to yourself, which step am I on right now? Does that make sense? If you ever say, I don't know what to do next, or I'm confused on what I'm doing, just stop and ask yourself, what step am I on right now? I like what Benny says, a D-log, right? That's the acronym, D-log. Discover the right product, locate the right private label, or optimize your product listing, get ranked on Amazon. Just remember D-log, right? Discover, locate, optimize, get ranked. I like that. Never even thought of that. Okay. So quick question here. Where's everybody at right now? Go ahead and type in 1, 2, 3, or 4 as far as the thing that you would be most interested in. Okay. And most people are on 1. Somebody typed in -1. That's funny. Charlene did. Lots of 1s, couple 2s, a 4, a few 3s, right? we're mostly at ones, okay? There's a lot of twos as well. And 1.5s, 1 and 2, they kind of go hand in hand, right? Okay. So the cool thing is, if you're on step number 2 right now, do you really need to be worried so much about step 4? No, no, not really. And if you're on step number 3 right now, then you don't need to be worried about step number 1 and number 2, right? Okay. Now, there's some valid questions that say, well, Jason, I want to make sure I get the right product so I can stick it in the viral app. I guarantee you, as long as you follow what we teach you about the right product, it will be 1000% okay to put into the viral app. Okay. If you're waiting on something or someone before moving on to the next step, then you can look ahead. Okay. Or you can just as easily move ahead anyway and quit waiting. It doesn't matter. I mean, waiting's not bad or good. It just is, right? So this is the thing. It's nice to know the whole picture. Okay? It's nice to know the whole picture. So you feel comfortable with where you're going. But then you chunk down to the specific thing, right? And anybody and everybody who signed up through me for ASM will have access to that members area. Yep. Right? So now with that said, I'm going to break down each of these 4 steps today. I'm going to pay careful attention to steps number 1 and mainly step number 2. Okay? But if you're having trouble with step number 1, I'll tell you what to do. Okay? Remember, this is the formula. For step number 1, get 25 to 50 potential options, narrow it down to 3 or 5 solid potential products, search for suppliers and private labeling availability. Okay? Now, Inez asks a great question. Currently, I feel like I am gambling with product selection and supplier. In a sense, you are. Business at the end of the day is all gambling. Business is gambling. We just play better odds than in Vegas, right? But there is no absolute certainty that any one of us can make for picking the right product, okay? There is none, right? So then it goes back, all goes back to the what makes a good product, right? So now think about this. If this is the most relevant step to you right now in the process, what should you be doing? You should be going into the members area, and let me pop that up on screen here momentarily. You should be going into the members area and the Facebook group and all those places looking for solutions to that thing, right? So let me say, for example, if you're struggling still to pick the right product, right? Here's what I would do. I would go into the bonus access area in the members group. I would very first and foremost open up the training guides and follow along documents. And quick question to you, is this relevant right here? Bestseller versus keyword rankings PDF for selecting a product? Somewhat, yeah. It's not necessarily the most relevant thing, but it's somewhat relevant because you want to make sure you pick the right type of product that people are going to find from a keyword perspective, right? And that's a good bestseller, okay? Is it the most relevant thing? Maybe, maybe not, but it's something I would make a note of, okay? Check the bestseller and keyword rankings potentially. Price and profitability, is that important? Yeah, it's pretty important. Yeah, because you want it to be profitable. Is it the first step, though? Okay, it depends on where you're at in the product selection process. Okay, if it's not the first step and you're at the first step, it's important, but it's not the most important thing. Okay, if you're double checking your work because you're not quite sure, then it's a very important thing, right? Now, demand is first, though, right? So this isn't even applicable at all. Oops. This isn't, this isn't, this isn't, and this isn't, right? So some of those are, some of those are not, and so maybe we decide that we're going to look at some of those. But let's just move on. Additional training videos, product selection criteria. How important is this if you're still struggling with product? This is very important. It's probably for most people who are struggling the most important thing that you could look at, right? Now, if you're saying, Jason, I've already picked 50 of my products and I can't find a supplier, well, then this isn't the thing for you, right? But if you're still struggling with the product selection criteria, go back to this one. And this is probably the most important one. How important is the bestseller matrix tutorial? Very important. These two go hand in hand. These are like required videos. So if you're having trouble with it, keep in mind, nobody learned how to ride the bike the first time they jumped on it, or it's probably rare. Okay? I did actually. I know it sounds silly. I actually did. I got this bike for Christmas. My mom had training wheels on it, and I said, take them off, Mom. I just want to ride it. She says, no, you can't. I said, why not? She says, all right, try it. I popped on there and I took off. All right? I'm like the only one. Okay, so the first time you watch this video, you might not get it. So you might have to watch it again. Okay? The good news is this isn't a 2-hour-long movie. It's a very short video. Yeah, I was 15. It's funny. First time I rode a bike, I was 15 years old. So yeah, I did learn how to. I just waited until I was 15, right? So this is what you would want to do. So again, you ask yourself, of these 4 steps in the D-log process, where am I at? Which step specifically? And which part of that step do I need to be focusing on right now, right? So these are 2 things that I would look at. The other thing that I would consider doing as well is going into the Facebook group and searching through the Facebook group. And the other thing I would consider doing as well is going to the Tumblr blog and searching through the Tumblr blog. Okay? I think everybody's hitting the members area all at once right now. We have 513 people on here, so. But you get the thing. Is what we do is we chunk down. We say, what step am I on? And of those steps that I'm currently on, what particular part in that step do I need to really focus on? And at the end of the day, these are the only 3 things, in a sense, for now. 25 to 50 options, narrow it down to 3 or 5, search for suppliers and private labeling ability, okay? Everything else is kind of small. Now, here's a question to you. Should I just find some products right now? Now, every time I find some products, it freaks people out because they say, Jason, that was my product that I wanted, right? So that happens. But I will show you again and again how easy this is to find products. I do this because I want to instill in you how simple the process is and how inexact the process is and how fuzzy the process is, okay, in this thing, all right? So, of course, the internet's going slow here. All right, excellent. Some people are losing audio. It might be because of my internet's going a little slow right now, okay? Or it could be on your end too. So let's take a second. I'm going to close down anything that I think could be eating bandwidth from me right now to make sure that it doesn't anymore. And then it would be nice for you to do the same thing as well. So make sure that we're not sucking up any bandwidth. Okay, cool. Okay, most people the audio is fine, so I'm thinking it's on other people's end. Okay, good. I'm gonna blame you, not me. Okay, so here I am in the bestseller matrix. Now I'm gonna show you something. Every time I do this search, I do it differently. Why? Question to you. Why do I do this search differently every single time I play with the bestseller matrix? Because it's not an exact science, right? And because it's not an exact science, each time I want to look at something slightly differently. Each time I want to play in a slightly different environment than the one I am in before, right? Each time I want to refine kind of my feeling and what I've seen out there and what I've been exposed to, right? Different perspective. The bestseller rank is not an exact measurement. It's an estimation. So therefore, we do not need to be exact with the formula, right? So when I've seen people say, oh, Jason, I've prorated these columns because I think this category has more demand than that category, right? I say, yeah, but you're doing it on imperfect data, so it really doesn't matter, okay? So watch, this is literally how I will do this. This is completely unprepared. I'm just going to select 3 categories today because I feel like it for no other reason. And I'll select camera and photo because I usually don't select this category, okay? Home improvement and what the heck, music instruments. 2 of these categories I almost never select, ever, Okay. Now, usually I go through a rank anywhere between 1 to 1100. Today, just for fun, let's do 234 to 997. Okay. Sales price, we'll do 18 to 50. And that's it. Now, I personally like to do 25 because it helps me scan the page really quickly. You can do whatever you want. Search. Okay. Completely unrehearsed. In the moment. And let me show you the screen now. Sorry, the screen was paused. There we go. So just so you can see the search, this is a search that I did. Camera and photo, home and improvement, music and instruments, rank 234 to 997, sells 18 to 50, and we searched that bad boy, right? Here's what we got. So then I just start scanning. This is how I do it. I just start scanning. That's kind of interesting. Portable alarm clock, spy camera, that's kind of interesting. Medium hard case, that's not bad. All right, power seeker telescope, interesting. Amazon Basics, that one gets me very interested. But let's just skip that one because we've done that one a couple of times. Digital photo frame. How about that? A digital photo frame. What do you think about that? Just initial impressions on a digital photo frame. Why do you think that got me interested immediately, right? I'll tell you why. Is there a massive brand dominated category for the digital photo frame? There isn't, right? There is not. When I say digital photo frames, you don't think, oh, that's got to be blah, 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 right? And for some reason, and maybe I plugged this in wrong, oh, I know what it is. Now, oh, this is a good, excellent. I could not have planned this any better. Notice how the price is now $74.42. But when I clicked on it, they were selling it for $49.99, right? That's because we cannot do this in real time because we have to crawl and archive the data on millions of pages. Millions of pages. So it's not fresh data, but again, it doesn't have to be. Remember, it's fuzzy data. That's all we need is fuzzy data, okay? So that's a really good, I'm glad that came up, okay? Initially, this popped out for me for a variety of reasons. First of all, keyword was the most important one. People that are looking to buy digital photo frames, what do you suppose they're going to type into Amazon? Digital photo frames, right? I don't like to go after products that do not have obvious keywords that you can easily find and sell and search from, right? Okay. It meets some of my other criteria, which is like how heavy is a digital photo frame? This one's 1.6 pounds. Jesus Christ. It's a lot, right? It's kind of heavy. And it's easy to brand. I'm assuming it's super duper easy to brand, right? It's a digital photo frame. What else? How hard can it be to make one of these things, right? Now, some people say, well, Jason, isn't electronics like bad? Can it get hurt? Yeah, probably. Okay, I'm not getting married to this product right now. I'm just investigating the potential of this product. Does that make sense? Okay. I might date a woman that doesn't have a good personality because she's very attractive. Doesn't mean I'm going to marry her, but I might see if maybe I'm judging the book by its cover, you know? Maybe I'm wrong, right? All right? And sometimes when my friends say, well, that one wasn't that good looking, Jason, I'll say she's got a great personality, though. I'm not going to marry her. I'm just testing her out, right? That's what we're doing now, okay? I'm not going to put this on the list yet of potential 25 to 50 products, okay? But here's what I will do. I will take this digital photo frame, and now let's go to all of Amazon and start searching. Digital photo, and just stop. First of all, digital photography seems to be the biggest in demand. But here's what's interesting. Digital frame, and specifically the 10-inch size, is good. Now, here's something else I want you to note. Digital photo keychain. That never showed up on my radar anywhere, but I'm going to screenshot this because I might go back and I might do a little bit of investigation for digital photo album potentially, and digital photo keychain looks like a very interesting product, and that just happens serendipitously, right? But let's do a search for digital digital photo. Let me go back to that. Digital photo frame. This is what I'm doing, okay? So here's what I'll typically do. I'm going to open this first one here, open the second one. This is the same type of person. So, and this one is also a Nix again, but let me just open this one up. Kind of caught my eye. Here's another one. I'll open this up, and here's another one. And let's just take a look. So this is the 8-inch version. It's about $60, so it's kind of expensive. It's a little over my price range of what I like to sell, but not marrying it right now. But check this out. If you're $60 retail and you're number 18 in camera and photo, I like that. Most products that sell for that much don't rank that high, right? They just don't. I'm getting kind of excited about this. Very excited, okay? The second one here is $34.99 from ViewSonic, and currently it's looking at 15. I think we got a winner, okay? I'm done. I'm putting this on the list. I'm not necessarily going to go with it, but it's going to be one of my 50 products, right? Does that make sense? See how easily that I just did that? Now, I said I'm going to put this on the list. I didn't say I was going to source it yet. I haven't moved on yet. Okay? I have no idea if the profits are going to work, right? None whatsoever. Okay? Now, Jim asked, ViewSonic is a brand name. Isn't that a concern? Not for me, Jim. ViewSonic isn't a brand name like Pepsi's a brand name. And ViewSonic isn't a brand name like Huggies is a brand name, right? There's brand names and then there's brand names, right? So unless somebody's specifically typing in ViewSonic and that thing is getting more searches than, ViewSonic digital photo frame is getting more searches than digital photo frame, then I'd be scared, right? Okay. Now, really quickly, sometimes just for fun, when I get excited in the moment, I might go, I'm thinking, are we going to get a digital photo frame in the United States? No, we're not. Okay. So once I get excited, I'm not going to cross it off the list at this point. I'm going to stick it on the list no matter what. But when I get excited, I might pop over to Alibaba real quick. Alibaba. And I might do a search for it. Digital photo frame. Well, look at that. Look at all those options. I'm liking this already, right? I'm not even going to write any of this down. I'm just kind of checking it out, okay? Gold supplier, online on-site check, assess supplier, right? $5 to $10 a piece. Minimum order 1 piece. Okay? This is 5,000 pieces. I don't know. Boy, that's ugly as hell, though. And it's not what we want, right? $7 to 25, 100 pieces. Did we just find a winner here? Probably. Did we just find a winner here? I think so. One other thing to consider, okay? I'm going to put this just on the list. I'm going to put this on the list for now. And I'm going to go on and get me 20 or 30 more of these bad boys before I'm done. But this is how I do it. I don't get concerned about the small stuff. Now, the other thing is when it comes time to do the suppliers, the other very important thing to consider doing is this. Let's look at Nix. Let's look at this listing. And we can see where this thing was made in somewhere on this page. Where's that at? Somewhere on every page they'll say made where, made some place or some time. And so I think it might be under more technical details or something like that, right? But there's somewhere, some place where they'll show you where this thing was made in. And it's oftentimes just by doing a little bit of sleuthing, I can find a supplier if it's not a big brand. Most big brand names will make them themselves. But a lot of people are doing exactly what we're doing. They're just getting it from China or they're getting it from a supplier, right? And so sometimes it's not mandatory you fill it out. It does depend on the product. But oftentimes I will try to start maybe doing searches or comparisons and to see, does this look like a product that's already been private labeled? And when I have an idea of a product that's already been private labeled, That's easy, okay? Because then I get very, very excited. So I kind of look at these and say, and then I compare these over to what's on Alibaba and these other places like Made for China or MadeInChina.com, right? And it becomes very easy. Now, just as an aside too, just looking on the competitive landscape about how hard would it be for me to get on number one, page one. This one only has 62 reviews. This one only has 32. This one has 61, right? Not bad. By the way, this is what the ad shows up, and this is what the ad shows up. What does this tell me? Just FYI, if you had to guess. What does this tell me if on page one of the Amazon sponsored ads, we don't even have the relevant product showing up? It tells me I could probably buy a page one listing even without getting ranked on page one, right? Looks like a good opportunity. And then if I go to page two, more of the same, right? In fact, here's the same damn thing showing up again. Now, just for fun, I might just really quickly while I'm here search the 10-inch one. And now look at this. This one's only got 20. And so what? It's Philips. But when people think Philips, they don't think Philips digital photo frame, right? Here's one with 32. This one has 8, right? 4. Look at this. This bestseller, not even optimized because it's an 8-inch one, right? Now here's a little fun thing I always do. No ads down here. You see this? Not a single ad showing. Not a single ad is showing. I like that. And one thing I usually also do just for fun at the end here is just toss this in here. Best, right? Now, if we do a search for best on this page, there's number 1, there's number 2, there's number 3, bestseller, number 4, bestseller, number 5 is in the excerpt, okay? Is anybody putting the keyword best in their title for keyword optimization? They are not, right? So that's always an easy page one in that case. So all I got to do is stick the word best in my title and push a couple cells. I'll be on page one for Amazon for best digital photo frame. Great keyword. Great keyword to be on page one for. And by the way, I'm not even going to say I'm going to claim it as the best digital photo frame. I'm just going to say digital photo frame, period, best support, period, or something like that, right? Best gift. I don't know, right? Just got to have the word best in there somewhere. Right? Simple. Now that was just one. And Jason, you say, Jason, did you know about this product before the day? I never looked at this product in my life. Would you believe that? I have never looked at this product in my life. It's fuzzy. All I do is plug some stuff in the ASM or the bestseller matrix, scan down, something catches my eye, I grab it, and I do a little bit with it. Now, it doesn't say I'm going to do this product. It's just going to go on a list of potential products, right? So let me close these out, and we can do one more maybe here real quick. Let's go to like page 5, because then we'll get into the home improvement stuff. And I'm just going to scan down. Fire extinguisher, that's interesting. Sharpening stone system, that's interesting. Soldering station, that'd be scary. 4-piece pliers and screw extractor. The hell's that? Let's take a look at that. I don't know. Kind of interested in this one, right? I'll tell you why. This one has 8 customer reviews, and it's 319 in home improvement, right? I'm picking them on people's list, right? Okay, now again, why did this first pop out to me though? Why did I click on this one? I'd never seen this product in my life, although I'll tell you, I want to buy it right now, right? Because I need one of these. Keyword. What's the keywords that people are going to put in on this thing? Probably screw extractor and damaged screw extractor, if I had to guess. Okay. Oh, yeah, by the way, I forgot about this. Let's just do one more search real quick. What was that? digital photo keychain. Now this is even easier. This is probably even, this one's getting me excited too, because I can sell one of these for 20 bucks. And just curious what the demand is on a couple of these. Look at this one. 1.5 stars. 15. Let's look at this bad boy. 15,000 in camera and photo. So even a really piece of crap product is still selling it. This thing's probably making $1,000 net profit a month. Okay, $1,000 net profit a month. Think you can do better than 1.5 stars? I think you can. It's on page 1 for digital photo keychain. So sometimes I'll see these little sundry products that don't show up on anybody's radar. They just show up because I accidentally discovered them when I was typing in another keyword. These are products that you'll find that nobody else will find. And then stuff like this can show up number 3 on digital photo keychain with 1.5 average stars. Amazon will probably kick this product out, because Amazon kicks products out that are bad like that, right? But this first one, 2,000 in camera, it's not great, but it's not bad. So digital photo keychain isn't necessarily hot today, but it could potentially. But look at this, 1.5 stars. This one's got 2 stars. Let's look at this thing. 15,000 in electronics. So it's not hot. Here's another one with 2 stars, right? It's not hot necessarily, but boy, it looks interesting to me. I'd put it on a list. It wouldn't be my main list, but it'd be on my perhaps one-day list, right? And by the way, how much do you think those things cost? 15 cents? 25 cents? 2 quarters? Yeah, exactly. These are one of those things that I might want to sell it on Amazon, but promote it outside of Amazon. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted. So let's look up. Let's start with screw extractor. I have no reason to rhyme. I just feel like I think that could work. Screw extractor. By the way, this is a good sign. It shows up right here right away, right? Now, again. Let's stop for a second. Screw tape letters. I have no idea what that is. I'm gonna screenshot this though. We might look at some of these other ones here. Okay. But what were we looking for? Screw extractor. Okay, screw tape letters is a book. I have no idea, right? It's a religious book. Ah! See, I don't know. I just randomly find this stuff, and some of it makes sense and some of it doesn't, right? I need that book. I do need that book. All right, so let's look at these. I'm just going to open this one. I'll open up this one here. It's another one. Okay, I like this because Alden, Vermont American, Grab It, Moody Tools, Irwin Tools, a lot of different brands that I've never heard of on page 1. Ooh, look at this blockbuster down here. 2.5 stars, 15, right? Okay, so let's take a look at this one. Bestseller 155. I like it. Okay. This one 25,000. Interesting. Here's another one. 3,000. Not bad. I like 3,000. It's not going to get me rich, but it'll probably make me a couple grand a month. Moody Tools. 800. In a different category. Not bad, right? Look at this ugly thing. Might be ugly. I make about 500 bucks a month, probably. Not, but there's a lot of potential here, right? And now just for fun, I would put this on the list without even looking any further. But just for fun, let's do damaged screw. Ooh, screw remover. Let's do screw remover, right? Now we know that one's a winner. This is a different one, but the same company. A different one. See, this is what else I like. Notice this one right here is not prime, but it's up at the top there. That's a good sign. Here's one that's brand new. Another one that's barely been in there, right? This one's 3,000. Not bad, right? 876, as we saw. 31,000 sucks. 37,000. I like this product. Okay, it's not perfect, but I'm gonna stick it in. I'm gonna stick it into my list, right? Now, there's other reasons why I immediately like this product besides the keyword. It's easy to brand. It's easy to brand. Okay. Has good private label potential. I think the margins could be there. What's the weight on something like this? 4.8 ounces, right? A good sign to be at the top but not be Prime is most Amazon shoppers would prefer to buy Prime, especially Prime members. That's why. Almost everybody who's a Prime member only buys Prime. Yeah, Abdul says, how do I know it's easy to brand? Well, look at it. What would we have to do to brand this particular product itself? I mean, we could get this cool thing and brand embroidered on there, whatever. We don't even need to do that. We would really need to put a logo on these bits here, right? That's it. And if we wanted to do it even goofier, like this one, how hard is that to rebrand or put a label on or something? And what about this? They're going to print it on the handle, right? Now, this one, I'm not super duper excited about it. Now, by the way, anybody who sells on FBA is Prime. Just so you know that. FBA equals Prime. So you list it on FBA, it's guaranteed Prime. Guaranteed. Yep. So we always win against non-Prime members, right? Now, this product is going to have multiple keywords, as we already saw, because there's screw remover, there's whatever else we put in there. And then there is screw remover, screw extractor, and then there's damaged screw extractor, and then there's damaged screw remover, right? So I like this because there's multiple keywords that are going to get some stuff, going to get some love. I'm just putting on a list for now, not necessarily going to go and get it, okay? Now, just for fun, if we go back to Alibaba, what was this screw extractor? Screw extruder. Okay, so there's another keyword, right? Gold supplier, on-site check, assess supplier, fruit juice screw extractor. I don't even know what that is. Here's one. This looks, okay, so tell me this. Take a look at this one, and then take a look at screw extractor. Take a look at this one. Okay, this one. This one. Think we found a supplier, don't you? Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? It's usually a good thing, and I'll tell you why. Let's just take a look at this guy, okay? He's not exactly crushing it, but he could be. I mean, we've seen what other people have done, right? Now, you think you could do better than this title? Think you can. Think you can do better than these two images here? Think you can, right? Price. His price is a big downfall. His price is actually hurting him more than helping him. When people buy a $6 screw extractor, they expect it to suck. And no wonder they think it sucks. The easiest way he can improve his reviews is to raise his prices. It'll improve his sales too. Okay, we could definitely write better bullet points. Now, here's what's really interesting about this, right? We can also read the reviews. So here's what's really cool. In this one, it seems like the product sucks, right? So will we go and source from this person in China? I guarantee you I would not. So this is another big benefit of when we spot somebody. When we spot somebody's supplier. I don't even have to vet the supplier. I don't have to vet the supplier. I know the supplier sucks. So I'm not going to get it from the supplier. I don't even need it. It saves me sample time, right? It saves me interfacing time talking to that person. But now here's what's really interesting. This is by Tecton or whatever, but this says ships from and sold by Amazon.com. What does that mean? And I am logged into as an Amazon customer. What does that mean? Ships from and sold by Amazon.com. Amazon is selling it? Is that what that means? I don't know exactly, but I'm thinking that Amazon buys this from Tecton. But I don't know. Because usually, does it say that for all Amazon people? Ships and sold by Amazon? Usually it doesn't say sold by blank and fulfilled by Amazon, doesn't it? Now Amazon, and there's in some cases, Amazon will buy product from you. This has happened to ASM people. I know more than one ASM people where Amazon has came to them and says, I want to buy from you. And Amazon's now buying wholesale from you. And they put in a standing order with you that's met once a month, right? Or whenever they need it, basically, right? Now, why would Amazon do that? This is, by the way, probably why it's selling for so cheaply, because Amazon, that sources everything from other people, they sell it for super duper cheap. Okay, so Amazon can come to you and buy from you. Amazon can come from you and buy from you. Happens all the time. I love it when I see products that I stumble upon where Amazon is buying product from a vendor and selling it on Amazon. Now, conflict of interest, right? I don't know. It is, but whatever. Whatever, right? And then sometimes for fun, I'll take a look at Tecton and I'll see what else they sell on here, right? Okay, so this is I'm getting all the secrets away today, ain't I? Double face soft mallet. $139 at Home Improvement. You ever seen a double face soft mallet? Never would have thought of it. There's another product for you. Let's put it on the list. Okay, now this one also says the same thing. So I don't know if it's always the same where it says ships from and sold by Amazon or what. And that's weird, right? But sometimes when I find somebody who has a supplier, like I just found over here, that tells me there's probably other products in the rabbit hole that I might want to consider. And so here we go. We can look at some of these other ones and do some research on them. So the bestseller matrix isn't necessarily always the end point, right? Bike hooks. What do you think about that? Bike hooks? That might be an interesting one. 66 pages of products. Oh, served by new and popular. Low to high price. Whatever, right? So just for fun, I'll do one more. I bet you, has anybody here looked at the soft mallet? Tell me now, because I'm tired of exposing great product after great product and somebody saying that they've looked at it. Okay, somebody has, right? Brilliant. It's going to happen. Soft. Interesting. Soft is an interesting word. Was soft mallet, is that the best keyword to look at? Let's just take a look at this. Soft mallet. I think so. We'll see. Soft mallet. So here's that one. Tekken's got the first two spots on lock. Here's one from Stanley. I guess that's a big name, right? But I don't care. Because nobody's thinking, boy, Stanley's got the soft mallet market locked up, right? Here's this goofy thing. I don't even know what the hell that is. There's also rubber mallet. I'm going to look at that next. So this one's way down there. 53,000, so that's no good. See how this one says sold by Micro Tools and fulfilled by Amazon? So I don't know. This one's doing pretty good. 2,000. I like that. 17,000 in musical instruments. Does that even make sense? I guess it's one of those things that plays. So it's not even the right type of product. I like that, by the way. If something can rank on soft mallet and it's not even the right type of product, there's potential there. Okay? Potential. But then let's look at rubber mallet. And I say, Jason, how did you get the idea for rubber mallet? Well, I saw it. I saw it right here as one of those. But I always try to look at these other keywords just to get an idea. Rubber mallet. Okay, rubber mallet and rubber mallet hammer is another one, right? Let's look at this one. 1,000, pretty good. I like it. Goes on the list. It goes on the list. Not going to say I'm going to marry it, right? But I might date it. Goes on the list. Now you say to me, well, gee, Jason, these things are kind of selling super cheap, right? I think I can sell a rubber mallet for like 15, 20 bucks. Okay? Because keep in mind, the one that caught my eye initially, where's that bad boy at? This one right here? Okay. Not bad. Pictures aren't bad. I could do better, though. I know it, and I know you can as well, right? We definitely can do better than this title. Definitely do better than these bullet points. Oops. Definitely do better than this product description. Okay. Out of the gate, I can get a 5-star rating, and they have a 4.5-star rating, right? I think I can be competitive. I think I could sell these soft mallets for 15 bucks, maybe 20 bucks. Now somebody says, how much do these weigh? About a pound, right? Super simple. Okay. Just for fun. And I don't always go to China, but I always just kind of like to just get a quick feel. $300 piece minimum order. Cool. Okay, here's one. Looks pretty similar, doesn't it? 1,000 piece minimum order. This looks very similar to what they're already sourcing. Here's another one. This one looks super similar. Okay, I closed it. This one looks very similar to what we were just looking at, right? 40 cents to $3 a piece. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Now, by the way, Steve makes a good point. It's the same supplier as the screw extractor, right? That's no coincidence because we got it from the same person that we found, right? Now, here's what else is good. When you contact suppliers and you find a good supplier that's responsive to you, ask them what else do they sell. Okay, that's part of that's in the file, right? Ask them what else they sell. So you'll notice that there's a whole thing that says training guides and follow along documents. There's one specifically on finding a supplier here. And I believe that this one has in it the questions to ask them. But this has the whole step-by-step process of finding and contacting the suppliers. So see, here's a whole bunch of questions that you can ask them. 15 questions. Some of those are specifically related to certain types of products. Other those are in general, right? That's it. Now, quick question here. I'm going to move on. Quick question. How concerned was I about the small stuff at this point? How worried was I about figuring out if everything was exactly right? Not at all. Very casual, wasn't I? That's how you need to be. There is no such thing as the perfect product. The perfect product is the one that you sell on Amazon. That's the perfect product. So there you go. Okay. I just kind of am very casual about it. Be like, oh, this looks cool. Let's look at it a little bit. I don't get too crazy with it. I get a good feeling from it. Put it on the list, right? You got to keep in mind, we are not working with exact data, so it's not silly for us to be exact. I mean, it is silly for us to be exact, right? And by the way, we don't even know at that point. We haven't done too much investigative look into if we can even get the product or not. We're just making a list. That's it. Okay. Now, if you are in a situation where you say, Jason, I'm back against the wall, this product has to work for me on Amazon. I absolutely have to pick the perfect product on Amazon. If I don't win right away with my first product that I sell on Amazon, then I'm screwed, right? Should you do it differently than I just did it? Should you do it less casually than I just did it? And the answer is no. The process is the process, regardless of what your situation is. Okay? Now, you might have to narrow it down and only pick people that you get in the United States for suppliers, right? Because maybe you need to make the money right away. But the process is exactly the same, because I don't care how much or how little pressure you put on yourself, it ain't going to matter, because there's no formula, exact formula. And when there's thousands upon thousands upon thousands of great products out there to sell, you just, putting more pressure on yourself is actually counterproductive. Okay? Yeah. And so somebody says, like, Alice, is picking a losing product on Alibaba would cost me $850. Yep, it would, right? So how do you guarantee you pick a winning product? How do you absolutely 100% guarantee you pick a winning product? You can't. No amount of pressure that you put on yourself in the whole world will allow you to do that. You can't. It's impossible. Okay? But if you follow the process exactly how I teach it, that's about as close as you can get to guaranteeing that it's absolutely 100% possible, right? And so if I say follow the process, just follow the process. All right? Yeah, and the more pressure you put on yourself, the less likely you are to make a good decision, or any decision. When you're just like, oh, let's pick this one and let's move forward with it, that's way better than saying, oh my God, I got to make sure I'm down right to the 15th decimal point, you know? And by the way, there's no such thing as a bad product. No such thing as a bad product. And if time is of the essence, you'll have to go to the US. Okay. So this is perfect, because this segues to the next point. Locate the right private label provider. Okay. US or China, profit margin potential, cash flow consideration, quality inspection, pulling the trigger. These are each of the things that you need to focus on, right? So first thing, US, oops, I doubled that slide. See, this is when proofreading comes in handy, right? US for China, okay? US is not better than China when it comes to picking products. China's not better than US when it comes to picking products. It's just different. US suppliers are harder to find, and they're typically more expensive, right? In general, US suppliers are easier to deal with, and in general, they're quicker to get to Amazon, although that's not always the case, right? And in general, you have a greater chance of high quality. Doesn't mean that China's lower quality than the United States, by the way. It's just typically quality is less of an issue with somebody you've never worked with before that supplies in the United States. Okay, so these are some of the things that is nice about the US. Okay. These are all in general, keep in mind. Okay, in general here, just so you know. In general, China suppliers are cheaper and easier to find in general. Steeper learning curve for connecting with and getting product to Amazon. So some people might say, Jason, how do I ship it over there? And then China, once it lands in the States, what do you do when it gets in the States to then get it to Amazon, right? What about customs and bill of lading and all this other stuff? I don't even remember any of this stuff. When it comes time for me to do it, I have to look it up every single time. But yeah, there's stuff that's just it's not obvious. You have to go and learn it. So that might take a little time. You might screw it up. There's not really much to screw up. Okay. Longer lead time, potentially greater range of quality. What I mean by that is the Chinese, they have less quality control over their factories than the United States does. That's all that means. Doesn't mean that Chinese never make better products than the US. And these are all general, right? But if I'm selling something for China, I'm absolutely going to look at it before I sell it, right? So I'm going to go through some of this, and then we'll do some searches. I'm going to show you how you can find US for many things no matter what, by the way, because don't think you can't. So for US, product private label minus siteexample.com. Let me show you what that means. So let's fire up the Google here. And what are we looking at? of the products I discussed so far, which one would you like for me to try to find a United States supplier for? The mallets, okay? Most people said the mallets. Soft mallet private label. That's what I'm going to search, okay? Now, there's something that you might want to do. In this case, it didn't really pop up. But like, I don't want anything from Alibaba to show up, okay? And I don't want anything from, oh, let's just do that, right? So now nothing is going to show up from Alibaba, okay? Jeff Mallet. I could then say, do we have to do minus sites for everything? Like that? Is that how that works? I can never remember. But yeah, now we got rid of that too. And we could get rid of stuff like LinkedIn, and we could get rid of Amazon.com and prune these results down even more, right? But then I just start opening up anything and everything that seems like it's a potential. This obviously isn't. Interesting. Here's one with the label, right? So it doesn't look like it's something, but this is what I got on page 1. So this is not obviously anything that we want. Mallet distribution and delivery, minimum order 5,000 pounds. I don't believe that. If this was somebody that we could look at potentially, right? I wouldn't necessarily believe that's true. What they say on their website and what is actual when you contact them are often two different things, right? So is this somebody that we could get a private label from, though? No, it's the name of the company, right? But I'm just, that was a good point here. So that one doesn't work, right? This is some sort of goofy, I have no idea what this thing is. Nothing that we have found has even come close right now, though, right? Got a server error, got this thing. So unfortunately, Google recently got rid of these quotes, so they don't work quite as good as they used to, okay? So then I might not see anything here, right? And frankly, if it was me, I would probably go even deeper. But let's just try this. Let's just do a search like this. Soft mallet hammer private label and get more specific, right? Specialty hammers, there might be something there. Okay, this has amazon.co.uk instead, right? So I don't see a lot. Now, does this do a private label though? By the way, Jesus, how many hammers are there out there that exist, right? Scaling hammer, steel mesh hammer, sledgehammers, rubber face. Just take a look at this one. Okay, so this one doesn't look to be a private label option. This one looks to be selling regular stuff, right? So then we might go back, and this is how this looks, okay? This is not pretty, right? But we might go back and we might search for something like OEM. And then again, I would open up a couple of these. Indie Mart, that sounds kind of weird, right? Source mallet router, that looks kind of cool, but it looks like it's from China. We're getting some China results now, so we're getting a little closer, right? Now, is this one that does, okay, send inquiry. Is this person in the United States? I don't think so, are they? This looks like they're from India. So I don't know, right? We don't know what the turnaround time is on this. This was another one from India, okay? This one is a retailer. This one looks like it has some potential here, right? Are they from the United States? Are they from India or from somewhere else? I don't know. This one looks like a US person. So I might dig into this one a little bit more, right? I would go here. This one doesn't show anything. But we could go back, and I might even say MOQ, minimum order quantity, because that is a term. Now here's made in China. And obviously there's a whole bunch in made in China, right? But let's just say we were hell-bent on only going in the United States. Then we get rid of that search. Global sources, did we look at that one already? We got something here, 20-day lead times. That never scares me, by the way, and this person is in China. And it shows you just in China down here, right? Because lead times can be negotiated too, so keep that in mind. But yeah, it looks like for this particular product, maybe we can only get it in China. If you were like so much wanted to sell this product anyway, I would look even further to see if I could find anything on the US. The other thing to keep in mind here too is if you go to, not Amazon, but Alibaba, Alibaba isn't just Chinese manufacturers, okay? I don't remember how to sort these. There's like some sort of specific search where you can even narrow down the country that they're from. North America, here we go, right? And you might get something in here. Here's one from North America, right? Or this one's from Canada. Here's another one from the United States. Now this one's like got hatchets and regular sledgehammers. So, Alibaba can be used in the United States. The global sources is from Hong Kong, right? Yeah. And so somebody makes the point, and we talked about this already. I don't want to beat a good dead horse in the ground. And tell me if you think this is fair or not. Somebody says, Jason, your guarantee pretty much forces us to come from the United States, right? Instead of China. You're not giving us enough time. Am I being a bad guy by doing that? Or is it because I want you to succeed fast, that's the only way possible, right? Here's my options, and I'm going to be straight with you here. If I didn't want to push you hard to get you successful right away, then I would have never in my life gave you that option to do fast. You just wouldn't have the option to do fast. So either I give you an option to do it fast and push you if you want to go fast, or I don't give you that option. That's my two choices, right? And I will every single damn day of the week do that over and over and over again. And I'm sorry, you can do straight up ASM and get no fast track. All right? That's your options. Go through ASM and get zero fast track ability, right? Or you can come to me and I'll give you a fast track. Now, by the way, how many products did I do that were in the United States? My first product was in the United States. My second product was in the United States. My third product was in the United States. My fourth product is in the United States. Only on my fifth product have I decided to go from China, right? Now, I got beat up. People are saying, Jason, that wasn't fair. Jason, it was deceptive. It was misleading. Yeah, whatever. It was none of those things. All right? It just is what it is. If you want to go fast, you have to make concessions. There's not a single business or opportunity or option in the world where you do not make concessions if you go fast. Okay? There isn't. There's no way to do it fast and perfect. You want to do it perfect, you got to do it slow. If you want to get money right away, you got to do it fast. Those are concessions. Those are trade-offs, okay? So I'm off my soapbox. And by the way, if you want to, if you're absolutely dead certain on doing this as fast as possible, don't pick categories that are going to be friendly to China, right? Pick categories that are going to be very, very much US type of stuff. So beauty is a US focused, heavily US centric type of thing, right? And there's a lot of health and personal care stuff that's very US centric, right? There is a lot of stuff potentially in kitchen and dining and patio and lawn and furnishing and pet supplies that can be US based stuff only, right? Got it? And this is what I like. Anything that you put in your body, we don't get from outside the United States. I would never trust some Chinese manufacturer to develop rose hip supplements for me. Hell no. I would never trust a Chinese manufacturer to get my chia seeds for me, right? No. We can't go to China for that stuff. You want to sell Garcinia Cambogia? You'd be insane to go to China to do that, right? Anything that's FDA approved, do not ever, ever, ever get it in China, okay? So yeah, there's some products you can't get in China, okay? So yeah. But when I do searches, I guarantee you most products, if you dig hard enough and far enough, you will find a United States supplier for them. It's just absolutely possible. Now think about what fast means. Fast means I might have to stay up 3 hours later tonight to find that supplier, right? But I got it done in a day, and I can get it in the United States, and the turnaround is going to be super duper quick, right? That's what that means, okay? It just means you dig a lot deeper to find it in the United States. Or you pick products that you can only get in the United States, right? Yeah, that's all that means. Now, again, and ask anybody. Thanks, Nicole. Ask anybody in our group. I could probably name you 20 or 30 or 40 people without a guarantee that we're able to be profitable in 30 days at that rate. That's where we came up with that number. We didn't pull it out of thin air when we were smoking some funny stuff one night, right? I looked at some people that push fast track and I modeled it around them, and that's how I synthesized it. It's absolutely possible. Absolutely possible. Okay? And some overseas products are FDA approved. They can be, right? But if I'm doing it, I'm just getting it in the United States. Heck, Bruce just posted a new case study where, like, in 45 days, he was doing that from China, and 2 weeks were lost because of some manufacturing error. 45 days with a 2-week lull because of some issue that normally doesn't happen, and he did it. Okay, now he knows the system a little bit, but heck, fast. So yeah, there's very possible to go to China and still do it within 30 days. I'm not going to recommend you do that if that your primary concern is speed. Stay in the United States. But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we want to make money. These are the ways that I find things in the United States specifically. I start with soft hammer private label. Then I go to soft hammer supplier potentially, soft hammer wholesale, soft hammer MOQ. Another thing I do is even if I want to go to the United States, I can still go to Alibaba, sort them just by North America. But the other thing I like to do is this. Just do a straight up search for soft hammer and look at some of the keywords that pop up, because I will also consider searching for those. So words like OEM are great Google keywords to search because that's stuff only manufacturers talk about, right? And you start looking at some of these other ones and you see what else they say when you look at when you view their products. So we can click on something like this, and then we can start kind of getting an idea here of what some of these words are that they're saying specifically. And then we can start searching with those words. And maybe we find a word here, maybe we find a word there. But there's certain words that you can always put in there that have a very good chance. Even if it's not MOQ, it's minimum order quantity. You just put that in there, right? So potentially you could go to Google and say soft hammer minimum order quantity US. And then see, this one comes back from the English Alibaba, but if we wanted to, again, minus site alibaba.com, we can start digging down here. Okay, and again, now take a look at this. 10 pages. I bet you if you dug through here long enough and far enough, it's going to take you a couple hours. That's okay, because you can do it in a day. You will find a decent potential U.S. supplier. Guarantee you. All right, I have no doubt. Now, the other thing you got to remember, and this is super duper important, you should have a list. You should have a list of 25 to 50 products. So if it's not a product I care too much about, and I got to tell you, I don't care that much about a soft hammer. I didn't even find it directly. I found it indirectly, right? I might just skip it. I might do some very quick search and then skip it, right? And I can't remember, what does OEM stand for? Yeah, there's also Thomas, original equipment manufacturer, right? That's it. Yeah. Yeah, other words you can use is MFG when you search, right? The Thomas, is it Thomas.net is another place to find manufacturers in the United States, I believe, right? Yeah, Thomas.net is another one to do, right? Yeah, so if I have 25 to 50 products I'm choosing from, if I can't find a supplier and I have to find it in the United States and I can't find it quickly, I might move on. And then if I go through my whole list of 50 and I still can't find one in the United States, then I'll go back and I'll look at the ones that I really, really like. I'll really, really, really like them, right? I'll go back to those and then I'll go deeper and I'll come back and look at it. But I guarantee you, you list 25 to 50 potential products and you do the searches, I absolutely 1000% on my kids guarantee you'll find the United States manufacturer, okay? Now, some people prefer to go to China because we can find a Chinese manufacturer in a lazy afternoon without even trying, and we're going to get a better price, right? But we'll spend more time for them to ship it over, most likely. We'll have to be a little bit more stringent on the quality, potentially, right? And so there's trade-offs. One is not better than the other. China is not better than the US. US is not better than China. They're just different. They have different end goals to strive for. I recommend, if you're using a site like Alibaba, and you can also use Made in China, sort them by gold supplier, on-site checked, assessed supplier. Now, here's a little tip for you about Alibaba. Oh, and by the way, in the Facebook group, there's a whole list of suppliers, too. There's a supplier list. Alibaba has a lot of middle people. A lot of the people you'll deal with are just middle people. They're not the manufacturer themselves, in a sense, or the factory, but they're the person that's taking your order, bringing it to the factory, and taking a cut. Is that a bad thing? No. The only downside to that is there might be a little bit turnaround time increase, or there might be a little bit of a quality issue potentially, right? Because you're not going straight to the source. But who cares? If you get the price you want, you get the quality that you have, and a turnaround time that's acceptable, who cares? The formula is typically is this: before I contact any supplier, if we're going to go to China, we get 5 suppliers that look really good. We reach out and we contact them on. If you can contact them by phone, that's much preferable. AliExpress.com is another good one too. Yep. And then these are the things that you want to ask them. Do they or can they get the product that you want? So you obviously ask them about you inquire to the product you're interested in. Can they label your product with your brand name? So can you private label it? How does that process work? And what are their price tiers? Meaning, what are your price breaks depending on the quantity that you order? Because those can vary dramatically. Okay. And there's really no easy way that you can ever tell if you're working with a middleman or a manufacturer. I'll tell you the only way you can tell. Fly over to China and then interface with them directly, which is what Will's doing right now. Oh, man, that's funny. Here's some considerations. Why we shoot for 25 to 50 potential good products. It's likely that one of those will then be able to meet all the parameters. Right? So not everything you can get in the United States. But if you got 50 products to choose from, I guarantee you one of them you can get in the United States. So if you want to go fast, you can go fast. You can work our formula completely, and you'll be okay. Also, here's why I like you to have multiple products in the hopper at the same time. It gives you flexibility in approach and negotiation. The one thing that I see hurts people more than anything else is that they feel like they have to have this product. Anybody who comes to me and says, Jason, this has to succeed to me, I'm very reluctant. I'm scared. Because anybody who puts that much pressure on something usually screws it up. Even if you have to succeed in your mind, just say, don't worry about having or having not to succeed. Just follow the approach, right? But the more options you have, I do enjoy this stuff very. The more options you have, the more flexibility you have, okay? I can negotiate with any supplier any day, all day long. You know why? Because if they don't give me what I want, I move on. I'm the first to pack up my bags and go home. You should have seen the deal that I potentially almost brokered with the ASM guys to help them with their launch. Now, they never hired me in the end to help them do their launch for ASM3. They could have, but they didn't meet my terms. I guess I asked for too much, right? Do I care? No. If they didn't give me what I want, I wasn't going to do it. And it's the same thing with these suppliers. I can play suppliers against each other that are not even in the same category. I'm going to say, you know what? This is how I always frame it. This is kind of funny. Okay, I'll break down to you how I negotiate these kind of things. I'll say, you know what? My boss is only giving me this much money to test the market with, right? He's actually looking at several different products from several different manufacturers. And so I like what you're giving me here. I don't know if your numbers are going to be something that's going to make him happy, though. But I'll take it down, and I'll get back to you. And I'll tell you what. Most people will then say, well, hold on a second. Maybe we can play with the numbers a little bit, right? And then you can play with the numbers a little bit. Don't you like that, though? My boss. You know who my boss is? My girlfriend. Nobody, right? I don't have a boss. But I phrase it as like, it's out of my control, buddy. I wouldn't beat you up. I wouldn't beat you up on the numbers, but it's not my fault. It's my boss's fault, you know? And it makes the company seem more legit because I'm not the boss. Some other guy is. And I explain to them, I got other options that I have to look at, and unless you can show me something better than what you got, right? I'm just the employee of the month, right, Timmy? Timothy? It's funny. We can always create another list, by the way, of 25 to 50. Once you take that casual product selection approach as I've taught you, once you take the casual products approach I taught you, you're super flexible. That's the benefit of it. It's not because we use some mathematical formula. It's because we give ourselves enough options. Even if I only had to go in the United States, I still have so many options that I can find something that I want at the price that I want that meets all my criteria. Now, and this is just me. Other people will tell you differently, but if you're super passionate about soy candles, let's say, I would tell you that even if the numbers work, do not sell it on Amazon because you will let emotion cloud your judgment. I've seen it all the time. I've seen many people in ASM, usually who haven't bought through my affiliate link, so they didn't get me in their ear, okay? They will get so passionate about something. They say, Jason, I've been in this industry for 35 years. I know it front and back. I know this thing is so much better to do for the customer than that, right? You might know it to be true, but you know what? Your customers don't know it, and you ain't got enough money in the world to educate them, but you got this emotional tie-up because you know too much about the industry, and it's screwing you up. Because you're letting yourself do things you normally wouldn't do. You're bending rules you normally wouldn't bend because you got this emotional investment. Don't do it. Pick a product you have no emotional investment in. How much do you think I care about fogless shower mirrors? Don't care about it one iota. Cellulite cream, don't care about it. Vitamin C serum, don't care. It's just got to work from a math standpoint. I just care about the demand. I care about the keywords. Can I rank on page 1 for it? Can I get it at the right price from the supplier and then sell it? Yep. Profit margin potential. 50% is a general rule of thumb. General rule of thumb. Not perfect. Okay? General rule of thumb. Very general. Sometimes you sacrifice margin for speed. I do this all the time. I'll take a 40% margin if I can start selling it tomorrow. Sometimes you do that, right? Sometimes you sacrifice margin for experience. I'll take a smaller margin just so I can get going. So just so I can tell my husband, who thinks I'm crazy for spending $3,500 on some product I bought off the internet, just so I can show him I got something to show for my purchase, right? Sometimes you sacrifice margin just to get going. That's okay. It's an acceptable change. Now, Harold asked me, what's your ideal profit margin? My ideal profit margin is 99.9%. That's my ideal one, right? But I'm pretty happy with the 50. If I take 50, I'll probably end up with 40 because I'll forget something or other, or some hiccup will occur, right? We have 535 people on this call right now, Raphael. Sometimes you sacrifice margin for experience. That's what we did. And then we went back and we renegotiated even a better price later. Sometimes you sacrifice margin because of ignorance. Because you didn't know any better, right? That's perfectly acceptable. That's fine. Sometimes you sacrifice margin because of context. What does that mean? It means if I see a product that I have to sell at $14.99, that's the highest price I can get it, but it's so damn wide open that I think I could sell 1,000 units a day, I'm going to make it up in volume, right? Volume. I can never say volume. I don't know how to say that. I can make it up in sales, right? Then I'll do it. Context is king. Context means everything. Sometimes you sacrifice margin because of other considerations. That's why 50% is a general rule of thumb. It's not written in stone. Vahum. I don't know. Yeah. Like volume? Volume? Is that right? Volume? Volume? I don't know. Some things you just gotta say good enough is good enough, right? This is one of those things with me. Good enough is good enough on that type of word. Just like when you pick a product, it's good enough is good enough. It's my Iowa accent, right? Now here's something to remember. You can't private label any product no matter how good it is if you can't make a profit from it. Yeah, Iowans don't have accents, by the way. You can't private label any product no matter how good it is if you can't make a profit with it. Just remember that. That's key number one. It's the Warren Buffett rule of investing, right? Rule number one, don't lose money. So there's a lot of considerations. If at the end of the day, it's pretty easy for you to make a profit, I don't care what the profit margin is, as long as you can easily make that profit, right? Cash flow consideration. What's your original order quantity? When you first start working with these people, what is it? And in general, and it does depend on the product again, okay? 500 is ideal. Why? Because you can buy rank. I'm going to tell you a little formula. This formula has never failed me. It's probably overkill. Here's the formula. 50 and 4. What does that mean? 50 and 4. Means if you can sell a product 50 units a day for 4 days straight, I have never seen it, no matter what category you're in, I have never seen it not produce a page 1 ranking. 50 units 4 days in a row. That's the big secret. If you had to sum up ASM in one sentence, 50 units a day for 4 days straight. That's the whole secret for page 1 listing. So that's 200 units, right? If you were to go that route. So then you'd have 300 left over once you got on page 1 to sell organically without having to reorder inventory. Does that make sense? That's ideal, okay? Now, I've done page 1 without doing 50 and 4, okay? I've done page 1 without doing 50 units a day for 4 days straight. I think that's overkill. But I will tell you again, I have never not seen a product end up on page 1 after doing 50 units a day for 4 days in a row, right? Now, by the way, I didn't say at 4 days at retail, full retail price, right? 200 units at full retail price. If I gave away 200 units for 1 penny a piece, would I still get on page 1? I'm telling you, historically speaking, it does not matter, even if it was a penny a piece. If you do 50 units 4 days in a row at 1 penny a piece, I have never seen that not produce a page 1 listing, regardless of the competition. Now, we don't change the price on the listing. We give out coupons instead. But it's about two things, sales and sales velocity, more specifically, and conversion rate. Okay? So we buy rank. If I have 500 units, I'll give away 200 at any price and every price possible because I will make that up in a very, very short amount of time. And then you might say to me, I'm going to pick on a couple people here. The attitude. You would say, well, Jason, it's not fair. I can't give away 200 units. Yeah, it's not fair. Okay? So this is not a strategy that you can use yet. Okay, life's not fair. We all know that. Thank God it's not fair. What kind of life would it be if it was fair for everybody? That sounds like the boringest damn thing in the world, right? So you have to use other methods for now. All right? That's just the way that a game is. And so this is the cash flow analysis. 500 ideal, you can buy rank. If not, 250 is okay. You're going to climb the ladder. You're just going to do it a little bit slower. That's it. But when you climb that ladder and you make some of that money, then you can do it. Now, people are asking me, like Sharon says, what about selling a $20 product for $5? Doesn't matter. 50 units a day, 4 days in a row. Which is harder than it sounds, by the way. Now, that'll shoot you to page 1. Doesn't guarantee you'll stick on page 1. But it will put you there, okay? You know how you stick on page 1? Really good copy, really good images. Guess who helps you with that? Guess who can do that better than anybody on this planet? Me. Okay? Yes. I can put you on page 1 and keep you there. That's the difference. That is the difference. That's why we buy rank. Because I can keep you there once you get there. And I've proven that hundreds and hundreds of times. If you can only order 100 units at first, that's okay. It's better than nothing. Right? Better than nothing. Yeah, Aid says, why haven't you put vitamin C serum on page 1? I'll tell you why. Because I've been too busy helping you guys. That's the God honest truth. You know what? You want to know where I'm at? Now, I am going to be pissed if anybody goes and clicks on my listing, because this will hurt my conversion, which will hurt my ranking, okay? But I am going to do, live in front of your eyes right now, let's do an Amazon search. Vitamin C serum. Yeah, you guys are going to kill my ranking. I'm going to be mad. Don't do it, all right? I'm not on page 1. I know that for a fact. I'm not on page... I was on page 2 2 weeks ago. I'm not there anymore. I am on... Ooh, I dropped a little bit. I dropped a lot. We were on... Just the other day, we were on page 3. We're on page 5. Okay? Page 5, 65 to 80 results. So we're in the top 70-ish, right? Okay? Now, don't click on this listing, because the worst thing you can do for me is click on this actual listing right here, right now, because that will hurt my conversion rate. All right? So don't do that. Now, we have 16 5-star reviews. All of those are from the viral app, by the way. Well, no, there's 2 of them that are not from the viral app. Okay? I don't even want you clicking and buying it, because then everybody with a Seller Central account is buying it, right? That's no good either. Okay? But if you actually did the search for vitamin C serum and then clicked on my listing, that would hurt my conversion rate. Okay? Now, here's the thing. I screwed up the formula. I did 35 units in a day, and then I did 20 units in a day, and then I did 15 units in a day, and then I did 0 units a day. Okay? I screwed up the formula. You know why? Because I launched this product during ASM when it launched. Okay? Didn't do the formula. As soon as I can get some breathing room and quit hanging out in the ASM Masters group and quit doing trainings on Saturdays that I wasn't even going to plan on doing, right? Then I will get this page on page 1. Okay? This is all from less than 60 units of a push. Less than 60 units put me on page 3. I've now slipped a little bit to page 4, right? Now, I don't even click on my listing, but if you want to look at my listing a little bit further, let's look at my brand. Okay. This is what a good listing looks like from the sense of bullet points, title, images, which we'll talk more about here in a little bit, right? Now, question to you, vitamin C serum, how competitive is this? And I have a PDF of this somewhere. It should be in the members area, right? How competitive is vitamin C in beauty? Well, let me show you something. Here's how competitive this is. Okay, is vitamin C hyaluronic acid? Are they pretty much the same thing? I don't quite understand it, okay? I don't know exactly how different they are, but they're very similar, right? So best hyaluronic acid serum with vitamin C and E. I don't know how different they are. Okay? They're not exactly the same. But my vitamin C serum has hyaluronic acid in it. What does that mean? Right? They have it in it, so from a keyword perspective, not bad. But anyway, let's just move on. Best vitamin C serum for your face. Number 3. Okay? Hyaluronic acid serum is another one that's on here. Okay, now this thing is ugly as sin. I think that's part of the reason why it sells so good. Okay, we got some Moroccan here, some Moroccan oil. Let's look at the next 20. Got some biotin, that's a hot one, right? So vitamin C serum might be trending down. I did this look the other way. Hyaluronic acid's God, hyaluronic acid is the hottest thing in the world right now. It's pushed off all the vitamin C's currently. I did this search 2 weeks ago, and there were 5 different vitamin C's. Here's another one. Vitamin C serum, 63, right? So I think there's only 2. The other week, there was 5 vitamin C serums in the top 100. Now they're all getting pushed aside by hyaluronic acid. Yeah, so it all depends on when Dr. Oz mentions them specifically, right? But again, if we do one more search for vitamin C serum, let me just give you an idea of how competitive this is. Okay, I'm going to open up the top 7. This is 3 in beauty, right? 63 in beauty. 204 in beauty. 42 in beauty. 1,000 in beauty. 1,200 in beauty. 864 in beauty. What do you think? Competitive? Yeah. I didn't do 50 and 4. I did not do the formula. I got too distracted by selling you ASM and then teaching you ASM, right? But even with 35 and then 14 and then, or it was 35, 20 something and then 14 or 15 and then 0, still put me on page 3. I got to the bottom of page 2, dropped to page 4. Haven't even thought about that product. Haven't even thought about that product in 2 weeks. Still on page 4 of probably the second most competitive term right now. Okay, we make about a sell a day, right? I think we do 1 sell every other day. Last I looked of that product. So it's making me like $300 a month net profit. Yeah, if I do 50 and 4, I'll let you know how that works out. Pretty sure it's going to get me to page number 1. Okay, I'm not going to dissect the listing too much, but I'll give you a little trick because we tested this. So if we look at this again here, look, this is the brand name, best vitamin C serum, ounce for ounce. Dr. Oz without saying Dr. Oz, right? Now I want to show you something. This is very important. This OZ, where does it show up? It only shows up in 1-2 locations on my listing. Nowhere else on my listing specifically. Well, in my reviews, right? That's it. But those reviews did not exist when we first did this. But if you search for vitamin C serum Oz, we don't show up very high, I'll tell you that, but we do show up. I can't remember where it's at now. But when we tested this, that was the only place we ever stuck that keyword in, was in that brand name. And when we started making those sales immediately, we started showing up in that search result. We're still here, right? That's the only place we put that keyword in. So you tell me if brand name makes a difference for keyword. Makes a huge difference. Makes a huge difference. Brand names are and you can sit that on a per product by per product basis, right? Now, just for fun, best vitamin C serum, not a huge search term. I know the other day we were on page 2 for this one. We must have dropped. See, the other problem is, and this is what happens when you poison the well. When I showed people my listing, I guarantee you some of them found it and started clicking on it because our conversion rate dropped dramatically in the last week after I shared it. So I must have missed it, or it just dropped out of nowhere. It was on page 2 for best. Yeah, so don't click on that listing. Do not click on it. I have a PDF of it. You can find it in the Facebook group, right? Under files, probably somewhere. If not, I'll post it again, and then I have a whole PDF of that listing. It's somewhere in here. And I'll make sure that it gets posted in the members area too. Here it is, vitac.pdf. And you can look at it in here. And you can see everything about it. This is the whole listing, right? Cool. Okay, now let's move on, because then I'm going to explain some stuff because I saw some questions that come in. Quality inspection, vitamin C serum. Did I even inspect the quality? Not really. I had them show me the label that they printed just to see what the printing color of the label is, right? That's it. I didn't even look at the product, did nothing. Sent it right to Amazon. I still have never touched the vitamin C serum to this day. It was in the US, so I didn't really have to worry about it. I know other people are using the same supplier as I am, so I can look at how good quality their stuff is by the reviews. It looks good, okay. And how can you really inspect the quality for vitamin C serum anyway? How can you? All right? You put it on your face and wait 2 months? No, you can only inspect the bottle quality, right? So it's not even worth inspecting. I don't even know half the stuff about. I don't even know the difference between hyaluronic acid and vitamin C serum. You know what that stuff means. You don't have to know it. Just do the math, right? Yeah, there's no easy and quick way to test this thing to see how good it is, other than if I put it on my skin and it burned a hole in it, then yeah, that's probably a bad thing, right? Not too worried about that though. I don't get worried about that. So a lot of people ask me, what about product liability insurance on this? I have no idea. I don't know if we have it or not. Maybe Will or somebody on my team got it taken care of and did it. I don't know. Do we have an umbrella policy? I think we might have an umbrella policy somewhere. I don't know, right? It's gotten taken care of, or it didn't get taken care of. It's not my primary concern. I'm selling one bottle every other day, right? It might be under the supplier's umbrella. I can't even remember. I really do not know. Quality inspection from the fogless shower mirrors, on the other hand, did I inspect the quality? I absolutely did. Because I didn't know. I had no idea. I wanted to also pick the best. So I had them send me 4 different sizes, and I picked the one size because I don't want to sell 4 different sizes. I want to sell one size. Okay. I grabbed the mirror, and the one that fit best in my hand, that's the one I selected. Okay. we have to actually piece this product together because one, the supplier only has the mirror, and then I have to go get them, have them get the hook for it, and then have somebody else create the box for it. So I definitely want to inspect the pieces since we're kind of amalgamating this thing together, right? And speed really isn't the primary concern for this product anyway. We're taking the steady approach on this type of product. Once you're ready to contact and have a supplier push your thing through and get it, here's what you need to do. Get the product and packaging design specs. So they'll tell you, this is what this needs to be printed on, this is what you have to print it, this is the dimensions, whatever. They'll give you a file. You also need a UPC code or a UPC, so the C stands for code, right? You need to come up with a brand name and a product name. The first time you create Bianca Ferrosi is our brand name, right? It's our product name. Bianca Ferrosi is a great name because it sounds exotic. It's cool, but it's not specifically tied to any type of product. So could Bianca Ferrosi sell soft mallet hammers if she wanted to, or soft mallets, right? Yeah, she could. Is it perfect? No. Does it really matter? I don't think so. How did I choose my name? I just brainstormed it one night. Just made it up. I got a product that we're going to put on Amazon. I can't tell you what it is. Will would kill me. But I wanted the brand name to be Thick Stallion. And Will would not go for it. He would not. He says no. We can't go with that. So I didn't go with it. Thick Stallion. His brand name is not that important. Now, the name that you put on the product listing is important from a keyword perspective, but Paul, you know it. Oh, it's funny. The overall thing is you want a good name, and Bianca Ferrosi is just a brand name that's made up that could work for really anything that sounds exotic and sounds like high quality, right? Sounds like it makes sense when I charge a high price for it, right? So then once they give you the product packaging and design specs, you get it designed and you send it over to the supplier, and then they apply it to the product typically, or put it in the box or whatever. And then you give directions to send it to FBA. Either get it sent from China to the United States and then from there to FBA, or if it's a US based supplier, have them send it directly to FBA, right? Or Amazon. And really, you don't necessarily even need a custom label. I mean, your designer can put a label on it for you. I mean, your supplier can. I recommend if you want to go super fast, you just go to Fiverr and just say, design this for me. And you show them 4 or 5 different options that you'd like it to look like from other listings that are not directly related, but are somewhat related to your product. Say, I like this one, use this color scheme, use this look and feel with it, only put soft mallet hammer on it instead of sledgehammer, right? You can't skip the UPC though. You need that, right? UPC is unique product code. So what wasn't clear, Harry, specifically? Can you give me something that's specific? I typically avoid having my manufacturer design my labels because they look so institutional. I hate them. Okay, so where to send it to? So you'll have to forgive me because I'm not super specific with exactly the details because I don't really remember them. When it comes time for me to do this, I always have to look them up, and then I have to follow the directions, right? And often it's Will that does it, not me. So I mean, I haven't done it in forever. But the point is, it's really super simple. You log in somewhere to your Seller Central account, and they'll have you print a PDF. And then when you get ready to ship it, and that PDF will have an estimation of shipping cost. And then you email that PDF over to the supplier. They print it and they put it on the package and they send it over to Amazon for you, right? That's the gist of it. If you need anything more specific, we can tell you in the Facebook group exactly what to do step by step. Because I have hundreds of people who have done this several times, and so it's actually super duper easy. It's a small thing. Yeah, I need to go. I'm going to stay a little bit longer. I was planning on 2 hours. I'll probably go 2.5, maybe 3. Oh man. Oh well. Say nice things about this to me when it gets recorded and published, because my family is going to get mad at me. I'm going to have to take that anguish from them. Moving on, so we can get through optimizing your product listing and getting ranked on Amazon. You can get your product listing set up even before you get it listed on Amazon. Most people don't realize that. Before your shipment gets into Amazon, you can have it set up on FBA, even though there's nothing to fulfill. Enough to create the product listing. You can get your ASIN number. Before, that's your Amazon selling something. I don't even know what ASIN is. It's Amazon's unique selling identification number, right? You need an ASIN to sell. You can't sell anything on Amazon without an ASIN. It's their version of the UPC, right? But all you have to do is follow directions when you set up a product in your Seller Central account. And then you can send it over there. But yeah, you can have a listing on Amazon before you even have product to sell. Very possible. The 5 parts that we focus on are images, title, bullets, and product description and reviews. Images, one good 3D rendering, and the rest are just stock photos. So in this particular case, this vitamin C, this is a really good 3D rendering of this bottle, right? Really good rendering. So in this case, we got it done from 99 designs. It took about a week. We could have done them much faster. But yeah, then once you get the good bottle, this is the key to having the good bottle. The rest of the pictures on my listing are this: a product shot plus a stock image. That's it. Okay? How I do that is actually very simple. I go to a place called photodune.net, and I type in something like smooth skin. I find a picture, right? Could it be this one? Oops. Whatever it is, I pay in this case, I'm going to get a big one. So I'll probably pay $3 for this picture. And then I know how to use Photoshop, or you can use another online editing service, and I just do it manually myself. Otherwise, you can go over to Fiverr and say, put this bottle or put this graphic on this stock photo, and they'll do it for you. $5, they'll do 7 of them. Done. Simple. Title. We've talked about the keywords. Other people's listing use the word best. Put a call to action, money back guarantee, or 30-day money back guarantee as the last part of your keyword phrase in your title, right? And I'll talk more about this some other time. The bullets in the description. In the members area and in the Facebook group, see this thing called Amazon Copywriting Success System. Just follow that. I break down this process so scientifically. It's not even funny on what you can do to write your copy. As far as reviews go, you can have friends and family do it for you. Just be careful. If they're living in the same house as you, or if they've ever lived in the same house as you and made Amazon purchases when they lived in that same house as you, don't have them buy your product and review it, okay? Only do it if they can't be directly traced to living in the same household to you at some point in time by Amazon, right? Then it's okay. Avoid reviews from people with Seller Central accounts. Amazon, best case scenario, Amazon will remove them. Worst case scenario, you can get your account put on probation. All right. So you don't want to do that. What you want to do is when the time is right, use the viral app, and that will get you your reviews most likely. It's not guaranteed, but that's the primary focus of it, and it works pretty good. Or create a filter process where you have people give you a review first directly one way or another. And then if it's good, you have them posted on Amazon. Which is really good if you use the ASM email tool. So ASM will provide an email tool. I don't know exactly when, but it allows you to follow up, send up to 4 emails to people who buy your product on Amazon. And you can have an email that says, please leave your review of this product, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I won't get into reviews too much because for most people they're not applicable right now. You don't have a product to leave a review on. So I'll talk more about this in the future. I'm just giving you the step-by-step process of what you'll be focusing on, right? Because once you discover the product, once you get the private labeler and get it over to Amazon, you just optimize your product listing and then you get ranked. We talked about the ranking factors. I'll go through these briefly too because they're not super important today. Keyword optimization in your title, then we have sales recency and conversion rate. That's why that 50 in 4 days is so important because it can push that up for you very quickly. Sales recency. Amazon ads are great, even if you're selling it for a loss. Some products, your Amazon ads might cost you $2 a click, and it might take 5 or 10 clicks to produce a sale. You might lose money on that, but who cares because it's recency in sales. Remember when I said 50 and 4, 50 units a day, 4 days? I know ASMers who did 10 units a day for 3 days and ended up with a page 1 listing. Their product wasn't super duper competitive, but it was still a top 1,000 BSR, right? Bestseller rank. And guess how they got their 10 sales right away? Through Amazon ads. Crazy, huh? That's all that they did, ever. Some people I know, it's a dirty little secret. They're making $10,000 a month on Amazon. You might see them post their screenshots. The only reason why is because they ran Amazon ads, made enough sales to get on page 1 just from the sales recency of the Amazon ads, and that's the only thing that they did, and they're successful. Okay, now I wouldn't bank on it and plan on that if I were you. But it's crazy how possible that is. I know people have done the same thing with Google pay-per-click. Now, I used to hate Google pay-per-click because they would not ever approve any of my stuff, right? Because they wanted information and not information harvesting, where I would ask for an email address and do a squeeze page. They hated that stuff. Anything to do with selling info products, they hated, right? I'll tell you what, you sell anything on Amazon, and Google thinks you're the greatest person in the world. As long as you direct your advertising straight to Amazon, your search result, right? I mean, your listing goes directly to Amazon when they click on it, right? Then they freaking love you. Google don't care; they'll approve everything practically because it's from Amazon, right? So, do you want to write Google pay-per-click ads that say something like "Buy my vitamin C serum, $24.95"? Click here to purchase now, or whatever, right? Whatever you can say or can't say on Google to be compliant. Yeah, you want to write ads that are not that good, but just flat out say buy my product. Click here, right? Because your conversion rate will be good, which is important, but you also make sales. Even if you make them at a loss, that's okay. Facebook ads are the same way. I'll talk a lot more about Facebook ads later. Viral app is the same way, right? Conversion rate, here's the general rule of thumb. It's general, keep in mind. 10% typically keeps you on page 1. If you can maintain a 10% conversion rate, you will stay on page 1 usually. We can often do 20% conversion rate. It does depend on the product. Now, something to keep in mind, and you always have to be protective. So when somebody said earlier, Jason, why would it hurt you if I searched for vitamin C serum and clicked on your listing? It hurts me because of my conversion rate. It goes down. And that tells Amazon that my product doesn't convert very well, right? That's why I didn't want you to do that. Now, how do you measure conversion rate? There's a place in Seller Central on a product. They call it sessions. So how many buys per session or something along those lines, purchases per session, that's how they measure it. So there is a place actually in Seller Central where they'll show you your conversion rate. So one person clicking on one listing will not hurt a rate, but if like 100 people are, that can definitely hurt a ranking. If you get the idea of saying, well, I'm going to build this program and I'm going to show other people or click other links for other people and sabotage my competitors, do not do that. That is so not worth your time, okay? For 2 reasons. Reason number 1 is you will be caught. I guarantee you Amazon will catch you doing that. And reason number 2 is you're wasting time doing stuff the stupid way when you could do that same amount of time and do it 100% correct and get 1,000 times better result anyway, right? It's the same amount of time you could build something legitimate and make more money with it, right? If doing promotional things that are going to produce lots of clicks, but maybe not lots of sales, suppress response to increase conversion rate. Let me give you an example, because a lot of people struggle with this. 100 visitors go from an ad direct to an Amazon listing. 5 buy. You have a 5% conversion. 100 people clicked on your Google pay-per-click ad, let's just say. 5 of them bought. That's a 5% conversion, right? Now imagine this scenario. You run an ad somewhere else. You get 100 visitors to click on that ad. That ad doesn't directly go to your listing on Amazon. It goes to your website. On that website, you say, give me your email address and I'll give you a coupon for my vitamin C serum. 25 of those 100 people who clicked on your link on that ad give you their email address. On the thank you page, you give them instructions to redeem the coupon. Only 4 people click on that link, which is now your Amazon listing, to redeem that coupon. Of those 4 who click to actually buy, you have a 50% conversion rate. Now here's what's interesting. You have suppressed response. We have now gotten 2 buyers instead of 5 buyers. However, our conversion rate is 50% as opposed to 5%. Does that make sense? We have actually suppressed conversion, but we've increased conversion rate. Okay? So this is the reason why we can't do this with Google pay-per-click, because I can't put an in-between page in this particular instance. So that's why we run Google pay-per-click ads. It says, click this if you're only going to buy my product, and don't click this link unless you're absolutely for certain going to buy this product, right? Those types of ads. But if we really want to increase our conversion rate, and this is very important when you use the ASM Ranker tool, we want to make sure that that last link that they click on in that process is our Amazon link, not the first one. But we want to put these hurdles so we can increase our conversion rate. You will lose sales. You will lose sales overall because of this, but you will gain conversion rate. And when you combine that with the ASM Ranker, it's completely incredible. Okay? Search, found, and bot conversions are the best. So earlier when I searched for vitamin C, found it, if you click on that and then don't buy, that is the worst kind of conversion rate, because not all conversion rate is equal. Amazon cares more about search in Amazon itself, found a listing and clicked on it, and did they buy or didn't they buy? That is the most weighted conversion metric that they measure. The most weighted conversion metric that they measure. That's why I'm like, do not, whatever you do, click and find my listing. I know people did that already because my thing dropped 2 pages in less than a week. Okay? And wait until the ranker becomes available, because a little birdie says that we can simulate this search found bot conversion without people actually searching. Because right now, what's the likelihood if I wanted to push a promotion and told people, search vitamin C serum, go all the way to page 4, find my product, and then buy it? What's the likelihood of that happening? Very slim, right? But what if I could simulate them doing that? Only they had to click on a link instead and not do all those other things, right? Well, we're the only one in the world who has that technology. Now, one of the reasons I can't release that technology to week 5 is I have to make sure that you do not refund for me first before you get that tool. I have to wait. Only people who are with us for the long haul are going to get that tool, right? And I'll tell you what, you would think with all the thousands of people who've seen ASM and seen the concept, right? You think somebody else besides us would have created this tool first, or somebody else would have created this tool by now? They have not, and you wonder why. Why has nobody else besides us been able to create this tool? And they haven't. I guarantee you they haven't. I'll tell you why, because they don't have a guy named Wilson Matos on their staff. Okay? They don't. Will knows stuff. Archaic, crazy, weird things. I don't even know how he knows it. He knows stuff. Okay? Don't know how he does, but he does. All right? And so he's discovered something that nobody else in the world has discovered, and that's why we have to be super secret about it. Because we don't want other people to discover this stuff. We want to keep this advantage just for us. Okay? You got to understand, Wilson comes from a background where he was doing database stuff back in like 1985, you know? Most people just don't have that experience. So at the end of the day, this is success on Amazon. You just have to ask yourself, which step am I in the process of these 4 steps? And then from within that step, what do I need to focus on specifically to move forward? Okay. Now here's a weird thing about information. Information not directly related to current application is marginally useful at best. So I can show you all kinds of cool stuff, but if it's not directly related to what you're currently needing to do to move forward, it's only marginally useful to you. It's good to know that in the future I will encounter this and then I can use it, and that's nice. And there's a certain benefit of knowing it intellectually that's fulfilling. Just knowing things makes you feel good, right? But that's not directly applicable. And so from a direct use, it's not very beneficial. It's marginal at best, right? So keep in mind, you're going to have to be good at, you're going to have to start focusing on filtering information as it relates to you and where you're at and focusing on that. And there's no way I can do it for everybody. You have to do it. You have to take the information I give you and filter it and say, is it applicable to me currently in the position that I'm in the step that I'm on? And then if it is, go for it. If it's not, put it aside for now because it'll be there when you come back to it, right? So here's the conclusions. Final slide for you. 2 hours and 17 minutes later. Stay resourceful. I can't urge this more. This is top priority. Stay resourceful. People could talk about negative and positive, optimistic and pessimistic. I don't care about any of those terms. Resourceful is the term that I like. So if you are pessimistic and that gets you fired up to go out there and do stuff, great. Stay pessimistic and do it because you're resourceful in that state. If feeling really good makes you resourceful, great, do it. If cursing my name and saying I'm the worst bastard ever to live this earth get you in a state where you get things done, then please curse my name until the days are done, right? Resourceful is the name of the game. And what does a resourceful state mean? It means you're always looking for a solution. It means you're always looking on how can I move forward. It means you're always looking at not what's wrong, but what can I do to make this right? That's what resourceful means. Okay? Focus on the next step. Always be thinking, what's the next step? What's the next step? And if you don't know, guess. But you should probably know. There's not a lot of steps. Pretty simple, right? Now here's what I know to be true. You will get there if you want to get there. That's the most powerful thing that I can leave you with on this training today. You will get there if you want to get there. Okay? Of that, I have no doubt. It's not a matter of skill. You can say, Jason, I'm not very technical. I don't care. You can say, well, gee, Jason, I can't find any U.S. suppliers today. Am I screwed? I don't care. Okay? None of that matters in the long haul. Here's what matters. You will get there if you want to get there. Of that, I have no doubt. There are certain things in this world that no matter how much you want to get there, you can't get there in. Okay? I wanted to be a professional chess player. I don't care. I could have studied till I died. I would have never been a professional chess player. It just was too hard for a lot of people. I didn't have the proper skill set, and I never would have it. And there's a lot of internet marketing stuff that's that way too. It's just too technical, or it takes too much time to put in to get the results, so a lot of people won't go through the paces and the sacrifices to get it, right? This is not one of those things. This is the only thing I have ever seen that's not one of those things. This is the only thing I have ever seen that I can absolutely say with 1,000% certainty that you will get there if you want to get there. And I'm pretty confident that you want to get there, and I'm doing everything I can to help you. So thank you for watching my Kickstart webinar. This is how I kickstart things for my people. So here's the deal. I'm going to stay on here for just a few more minutes because I'm already 20 minutes over. There is a link to schedule coaching. And this coaching specifically is a certain type of coaching. All right? let me show you what the link is first and how it works, and then I'll explain to you what type of coaching this is. So you're going to get a link, and I put that link into the chat box. It's the asmmasters.com or asmmasters.rapidcrush.com/schedule coaching. And let me just put it in there one more time. See if I can copy this. I don't think GoToWebinar lets me copy it, does it? No, of course not. There we go. This is the URL, asmmasters.rapidcrush.com/schedule coaching. I will post this again later in the Facebook group. For some reason it's not letting me send any messages to the audience. I must have broke something in GoToWebinar. Oh well. There we go. Now, I released 25 or 30 spots. They're all gone. Okay, so you're not going to see any on the calendar. Later tonight, I'm going to open up more spots. If you are absolutely dying to get one in as fast as humanly possible, you have to have a product first that you have an idea that you'd like. 3 to 5 products that you bring to the table out of your 25 to 50 that you've looked at. You say, I like these 3 to 5, get on, you got that, then schedule the call. Okay? I will be opening up more spots later tonight, and we'll be opening up more spots after that. Most of our coaches have not put in their slots yet, just so you know. So they will be added. Now, what are these specifically that we're talking about? These are the sessions that I'm talking about. Bonus number 2. Originally with Matson and Morgan, we now have 5 coaches. These are the 3 personal coaching sessions. So session number 1 is the product selection. After that's done, session number 2 you can book later at a later time, and session number 3 you can book at a later time. But this is the thing, is where you get on this call with us, you say, here's the 3 to 5 products, Jason, that I've looked at, that I feel like I can get sourced because I did some research on the sourcing part of it. Which one should I pick? And between me and one of the 4 other coaches, of which you'll get assigned one at random, that's what we'll be doing. Okay? So that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the coaching at asmmasters.rapidcrush.com/schedule coaching. We'll post this in the members area. We will also post this in the Facebook group again every time we have new slots that are opening up. If you were a previous ASM master, not an ASM 3, but an ASM 2, and you did not use that bonus, then we will be giving you instructions on what you can do. Okay? If you were an ASM 1 and you didn't have the opportunity for that bonus, we will be giving you instructions on how you can take advantage of this, or what your options are for this type of coaching. Okay? If you have a business partner and you want to bring them on, you probably can, as long as you have a verified business with them that you can show us, right? Yeah. And so that's the long and short of it. Any other small questions you can ask in our support, and as soon as we get the answer, I'll tell it to you. I do not have the answer because I'm not the operations guy of Rapid Crush. That guy's name is Will. Will's in China, and Will is super sick right now. Poor guy. I told him not to drink the water. Or wait, was that Mexico? Never mind. Oh, cool. So Jeff says this. He says, by the way, I've made $2 million in 3 months, and this is the first thing to fire me up as much in quite a while. Okay? Awesome. Love it. I love that, Jeff. I'm screenshotting this because nobody will believe it. There we go. Oops, I didn't mean for it to show up on that page like that. I moved that out of the way. People are now going crazy. 2 million in 3 months? What the heck? What is this? No joke. I'm gonna show it again here, but I'm gonna blur out your full name just in case, because I didn't ask for permission to show this. Okay, this is what he just said to me, so you can see it. By the way, I've made 2 million in 3 months, and this is the first thing to fire me up as much in quite a while. And it's not all about the money. Mentoring private enterprise, priceless, as in teaching the old fish versus gifting sushi. Well, thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. Appreciate that a lot. Yeah, we laughed, we cried, we hugged, we held hands, we had a good time, and we learned something today, right? Oh, I paused it. I didn't show it on the screen. Well, Let me unpause the screen. I got to remember to show my screen. Yeah. By the way, I've made $2 million in 3 months, and this is the first thing to fire me up as much in quite a while. Right there. Money's good, isn't it? Awesome. Excellent. All right. Well, thank you so much. I am going to, and it's just me, so I don't know how this is going to work. I'm going to have to figure out on my own because I haven't done this in quite a while. I'm going to try to get this thing converted as fast and posted as fast as humanly possible. Don't wait too long for it, though, because it might not be until tomorrow. I'm aiming at by tomorrow at the latest, but the earlier I can get it, the earlier I'll send it over to you. So thank you again, and I will talk to you very shortly.